Good afternoon, it's Marie from Messy M Creations coming to you on a very hot day and hoping you are all safe and well and drinking plenty of water. I forgot one thing before I started and now I can't find it. Where's it gone? Just bear with, I'll see if you're all jumping on or where? Oh, there they are. Hopefully you're sheltering somewhere cool. Actually, to be fair, I'm quite lucky in that my craft room doesn't really get any direct sunlight, so it's quite cool considering the heat in the rest of the house or even outside. And to be fair, I haven't actually been outside today, so I actually couldn't cope with the thought of outside. That makes it all sound very dramatic, doesn't it? But anyway, so hi Jeanette, hi Kim, hi Jane, hope you are all well. The thing I forgot was I'm using Daisy Lane today, which is a set that comes with two punches that punch out the two daisies. Sorry, point at the right two daisies. So we've got a larger one and a smaller one. But it also has this fern leaf, which immediately made me think of the fern on our beautiful gold laser cut paper. So I thought I might try and incorporate it. It's an idea, isn't it? Not sure that any of the others are particularly, and what I'm planning on doing doesn't work with the background, so I can lose the rest of that. So I'm just going to keep that out to remind myself that I want to see if I can incorporate it. So let's put that away. And rainbow glimmer paper is also making an appearance today, because I just love it. So I'm using oh, actually I might end up using the bigger one, so I do need to mount the bigger stamp just in case. So I do hope you are all well and managing to stay relatively cool. So there we go. Right, so let us start with, I'm gonna, well, if we've got time we'll hopefully do 3 cards. I've chosen the colours, so I've gone, in fact I guess in a way I've actually been guided by the rainbow glimmer paper, which is quite an interesting thought that I hadn't quite realised, because you have this beautiful yellow going into the pinks, so that I think complements perfectly with Daffodil Delight and Melon Mambo. Then I have a combination of Flirty Flamingo and Magenta Madness, which kind of goes along this area. And then it's slightly crazy a colour combination, again I've never used before, so it's always good to challenge. I'm not sure, I've pre-cut the bits out. Yes, it is those bits. Blackberry Bliss and Cherry Cobbler, so I kind of saw those there. So anyway, we'll see what happens. So rainbow glimmer all over the place. So I have my punches, I have my stamps, got my glasses on, got my little fern, and we are ready to go. So the first card I'm going to do on a little note card. I like these. The size comes as a pack with the envelopes and the card as well. So I think in this instance I'm going to go straight, I'm going to try going straight onto the card, or shall I? I might. No, I'm going to be brave, because what I'm going to try is using my block as a stamp in itself. Aha, no, I haven't got post-it note. Quick grab one of those. Always have post-it notes handy. So in essence, what I'm going to do is literally ink up my block. So I'm going to do it on a separate piece of paper because I've never... So the idea being that when I stamp that down, we get a block of colour. I've seen it in some cards that people have done, and I thought, oh, let's give that a whirl. I'm going to use two different colours, so what I figured was a handy little post-it note would help me keep those colours separate. So again, it's going to, I reckon this is something that you'd get a different effect every time you stamped, pretty much, because I think it depends on the amount of ink you get on your block. Oh, perfectly placed. Hashtag winning. Is it Thursday today? It's Thursday, isn't it? God, I swear to God, I spend half my life trying to work out what the flipping day is at the moment. But you see, what I'm then seeing is using... how big's the big flower? I'm just thinking on a note card, one big flower in the rainbow. What I'm thinking is if I punch that kind of halfway across the colours, we can then reverse it on there. Let's give it a whirl. Oh God, I haven't got the strength. Keep my fingers out of the way of my punch, that's for sure. Oh, blimey. God, weak and feeble in the heat. But you see, I think if I put the pink over the yellow and the yellow over the pink, and actually, if I make the card that way and put my greeting there, that might be quite cute. And then I might... I'm thinking I could do with more. How about there is some planning that goes into these things before I start, but generally all of a sudden I get a different idea when I'm, at least I've decided what stamp set I'm using before I start the whole live. Oh, how about 3? Ooh, let's go crazy. That's quite sweet. The greetings in this set, which I've just lost, there they are. Smile, friend, the moments in my life, the best moments in my life happen with you, and it's your time to shine. Dear Lord, I can't speak. I think I might just put a little smile here. Which colour to use? I might do it in the yellow, to a bit of daffodil delight. So just light tapping of your stamp. I'm going to put it down in this bottom corner. And you know how I like my corner punch. I'll cut that corner off because I do just like to have a corner cut off. No idea when I started doing that or why I started doing it, to be fair, but hey ho. So I'm going to use glue dots to layer these up. So all I need to do, oops a daisy. Actually that's quite fun, that side of it, isn't it? I'm going to do one in that one. I'm going to put those quite close together with any luck. Oh, they've tangled themselves up. And then that one's going to go over the top, hopefully showing a bit of both. That's quite cute, isn't it? So what we can do as well to add a little bit of dimension is just lightly curl those leaves. Don't know that it's going to work on the Glimmer paper, but let's, because what I'm thinking is on the final layer. Let's see. Oh, it will work on Glimmer paper. Fantastic. So again, I'm going to put a glue dot on here, and then I think I'm going to put all three onto a single dimensional, just to give us a little bit of height. And then look at this, I'm hashtag winning today, got it all to hand. Woohoo. Normally got my dimensional somewhere else, or God, it's like I'm almost becoming pro. I say almost, obviously, we're not quite there yet. And then we could either put that, actually what we will do, we'll just pop our ink pads away so we don't stick bits of paper in or anything else. Oh, that's the wrong, where's my note card gone? There it is. Dopey woman, that's a card base, that one. So what I was thinking was we can mount it onto there and then mount it onto there. I quite like this effect. So I've now learnt those are 13 by 9.2. I do not get too fussy about the 9.2, but life's too short, I think, to worry about 0.2 of a centimetre or even 2 millimetres. So that card base is going to fit onto there. And well, we were doing well. There we go, there's my snail. Everybody's sitting quietly melting somewhere. And that is going to sit on there. So you could, I mean, I've put 3, you could put 2, you could do whatever you fancied. And then I feel that might need a couple of little, what do you call it? Oogie flips. Embellishments is the word we were looking for. So let us see. What do we have in our little collection? I only want small ones, so I will probably stick well, do you know what I'm wondering? Let's experiment. Well, let's experiment if by some sort of magic, melon mambo, that's what I use, isn't it? Look at that. By the magic of see, with the alcohol markers, and it looks like it's going to work on these as well. If you've got alcohol pens, you can colour your embellishments. Well impressed I got the dark one out first, right one out first. So the alcohol does dissipate fairly quickly, but we need to be a little bit careful. So these are the white ones in the Elegant Faceted Gems, and I just think pink because I've gone yellow with the card. So I keep double checking my hands. The last thing I need to do, by using a little pick up tool, you can then kind of just decide where you're going to place it before you pop it down. We'll put that one there. And we could even, need to think of something for the centre of the flower, because had I stamped it, it would have had a little thingy in the middle. But it hasn't. Well, we'll ponder on that one, how we cover that. But anyway, there we go. Daffodil, Delight and Melon Mambo. That's numero uno. So then Magenta Madness and Flirty Flamingo. Again, two colours I wouldn't necessarily have thought to put together. But we have a card base in each colour. We have some DSP in each colour. And we have the amazing rainbow glimmer paper. Because I reckon we could cut out of this sort of section. I'm going to use the smaller of the stamps. So I'm going to try the same idea. Let's clear the decks a little. Actually, what I ought to do is just clean that smile off so we don't accidentally stick it anywhere else. I need a spare piece of paper because I need to stamp a couple of these. Excuse me while I grab. So in the first instance I'm going to stamp, I think on this one I'm going to try. Oh, do you know what I could do? Oh, I don't want another one of those. I'm thinking, I bet I haven't got a piece of Melon Mambo handy. Oh, love it when it happens. But actually, what you've always got is that is obviously on shimmery white, but you can kind of do a tone on tone. You can bet your bottom dollar I won't find a bit of Flirty Flamingo. I've got a whole box of scraps. Ooh, is that Flirty Flamingo? No. So the key thing I have to do is remember that I've got scraps rather than breaking into a new. No, I don't think I've got. Sorry, this is part of the problem with me deciding what I'm doing, or changing my mind as to what I'm doing. Love it when a plan comes together. Got a spare bit of that. So what I'm also thinking, so let's have a look at the difference. We'll cut them both out. That's on the white. And that's tone on tone. Has anybody got any preferences about what they think to that? So that's my little thing. So while we get some feedback on what people might prefer, right, I'm going to do Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to keep the lighter one at the bottom. Oh, beware. So I'm going to leave space for sentiment at the bottom there. Pop that straight on. Simple to wipe it off. Bring my wee post-it note out again. Now I'm spacing it not directly on the edge, because that is raised. It will actually affect the block and the block stamping down. So by oops, it's alive, it's alive. And again, these are going to create two different patterns. Not too worried about it, but you can see that even though that post-it note wasn't right up to the edge, none of that pink has gone onto that Flirty Flamingo. So it's the ridge of the post-it note has that effect, which I hazarded a guess might happen. Now what I'm thinking is my leaf goes across there. I'm going to put the inks away for a minute, just because we don't want to. I'll cut some daisies out of that. I think I might go with the magenta card. So do I want a bit of layer on there, or do I not want anything? So I'm going to think that combination is what I'm going to do. So I think I might, before I put that fern on, I'm not going to put it on yet because obviously I haven't stamped out my daisies. So using my dimensions, because what I haven't checked is the size of this card base, so I want to take this down slightly smaller, I imagine. Oh, lost me. Lost my track out, my trimmer. So I'm going to take a smidgen off. That's obviously a technical term. So that this base is, oops, that was never very straight. So we want it kind of there. I forgot when I used this, the new Stampin' Up trimmer grips and this one doesn't, so I forgot that when it's moved to Tidge, but I think we're fine. So that on there, no, I haven't cut enough off the sides there, have I? No, because I need it to be 9 centimetres, so no I haven't. Woman. Just when I thought I was getting pro at it, I'm doing my measurements wrong. God, it's always something. I'm back to work part-time in my proper job on the 6th of July. So that will be all change. So that's quite cute. Let us see. Let's use the small punch and see what we think. So I quite like the, oh, do you know what, the other thing you could do, I've kind of gone self colour, but you could stamp the opposite colour on the opposite thingamabob, couldn't you? So I could have done Flirty Flamingo on the Magenta Madness and vice versa. I won't do that now. So I'm going to cut the ones out that I did on the shimmery white as well. I think the heat's taken my strength. Punch is just so easy. So kind of what I'm thinking is you might create flowers that had the two colours like that. Hopefully you can see that, but what I'm thinking would be even more magical. Oh, and I know the other thing I meant to do is I might go more into the... So it's really just deciding on what level of, you know, I can put this anywhere along. And there's so many things that you would get this, God, the Glimmer paper is not as easy to cut. That's got a kind of combination of the two in, which is quite sweet again, quite a subtle. Makes it a little bit more. So what I'm thinking is that one maybe goes underneath because I brought out my Wink of Stella, because I always forget about Wink of Stella. So what I'm going to put this, so the idea is leaf across there. Query how many of these. See, I think that's quite a nice combo. So that one could go on. Oh, then which way round to do them? So many questions. And do I do them both? I do one. Or maybe I don't do it at all, maybe. Just use those. You could just do it that way. But the brilliant thing with the Wink of Stella, and it won't show up on the camera I suspect, but we can just ink a little bit of glitter onto each one of those petals. And I suspect that won't show up on the... You can use, can I catch it so that you can see the, we're not quite, but I've just added a little bit of shimmer onto those. So I'm actually going to do that on all of those. I'm going to forego my little daisy. So these pens are just brilliant for just adding that little bit of glimmer, just lightly press to get more. I don't even know where today's gone. I had a training webinar, then I went straight onto a webinar about back to work. Well, then I went on to something else, another webinar. Oh dear. Let's all go. So yeah, that, oh, I wonder whether that shows more on that. I don't know if it does. Just hopefully see a slight shimmer. Has that caught it for you? Hopefully that's just... So just a simple little pen adds gorgeousness. And then, as I say, just press lightly either side. There's two little things that say push, and it just releases a little bit more. You only need to do it really lightly. So that just adds a little bit of bling there. So I'm thinking, while they're, I'm just going to make sure they're dry before I do anything with them. So I'm going to stick this together. We decided it was Thursday, didn't we? So has anybody got anything exciting planned for the weekend? I actually, I'll get you answer on the chat because you'll be a bit behind me, so I'll carry on rabbiting on. I actually managed to get tickets to go to Ascot House with my mum and dad. My poor mum, I think, has been going a little bit stir crazy. They're really active, and I think she goes a little bit stir crazy, so she was dying to go, and we'd been trying to get tickets for ages for Ascot House, and then but I think I caught it lucky because they released some more, so she was very happy. So I'm taking them to Ascot House on Tuesday, so hopefully it'll be a bit cooler. Have a look. You can't go around the house, just go around the gardens. My dad's hoping an ice cream van might be there. I'm then hoping my dad will then go, oh, you're my baby girl, and buy me an ice cream. Or at the very least a cake and a coffee. I'll always be his baby girl. Even at 52. So, no, but you don't want to talk to me today. What are you doing? You're busy. You haven't all melted on me, have you? Oh, excellent. Oh, sorry, Kim. I was just worried everybody had melted on me. Yeah, that snowman from last night who had his hot chocolate. I thought, oh my God, they've all melted on me. Oh yeah, but isn't it nice though to be able to go out and have a socially distanced coffee? It's just nice to get a little bit of normality back into our lives. It may not be much, but it's that little. I put me, oh, there we go, glue dots. Going to put, I think, the lighter on top of the darker. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be quite so hot at the weekend, is it? Yeah, I'm not going to Ascot House till Tuesday, so we've got a skip at home at the moment, so I think we might be skip filling. I was doing some digging out yesterday and nearly passed out with the heat, so I refused to do any today. David went off to work and I went, I'm not digging, not today. I think everybody has just missed human interaction. You know, humans are, we're quite naturally sociable really, aren't we? We like to see people. And see them in the flesh. I mean, we've had some fantastic, and at times very funny, quiz nights and stuff with family and friends, but it's never quite the same as being with them in person. But at least you've maintained contact. Everybody's over 18 on here, aren't they? Yes. The funniest, and I will never ever 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 forget this quiz question. Was what animal prostitutes itself. So in this whole, you know, we're all on Zoom, and me and David are, you know, trying to work out the answer. We were given 3 choices, and for the life of me I can't actually remember what the choices were. Jane might remember if she's still about. But we had this whole conversation, and me and David, about how these animals didn't have pockets and what were they going to do and what were they going to trade. And it transpires, useless information of the day, that lady penguins, when they're making their nests, will go and prostitute themselves with penguins to go and steal their rocks or get paid in rocks. I mean, can you believe it? That's your useless fact for today. So yeah, that was slightly crazy. So I rather like that leaf. I'm rather liking the colour blocks as well. So there we go, that's number 2 with me ramblings. So that's Flirty Flamingo and Magenta Madness. So I'm going Blackberry Bliss, and I cut my daisies out earlier, so just in case I wasn't feeling I was obviously feeling stronger earlier when I cut those out. So Blackberry Bliss and Cherry Cobbler. And this set, oh, I need a shade of green. There's my old olive. My old olive tends to be my favourite, but what I'm thinking is there is a lovely leaf that's going to go up that way with those on top. Although I do need to work out what I'm going to use as a centre. Yeah, I think that fern just where it was. I saw it in the set and thought, oh, I know what I have. Oh, this might be a bit. Oh no. Blackberry Bliss has just been re-inked, so it's a little bit juicy. But what I'm thinking is doing kind of, I'm going to do a few in Blackberry Bliss, then I'm going to mask those. Let's make a nice mess of my chamois. I'm just going to put that away so that we don't. Hi Babsy! Hope you are well. I've just realised I didn't measure that bit of card. I've just randomly picked it up. So I need a couple of post-it notes. So I'm going to use that same idea of not going right up to the edge, because the post-it note gives a little bit of a raised area. So it doesn't, I'm going to stick that down with that bit so it doesn't, well, hopefully that's not too far away. So yeah, I think it's quite nice to challenge yourself with colours. Has everybody seen the colour challenge for this week? It's very bright. Hopefully you can think of something to create. Yeah, you can see there it's most definitely that little bit of lift means that colour doesn't go right in. Don't really think I've got a way around that. Okay, it doesn't have to be even, doesn't have to be perfect, that's not the point. We're actually going to do that before I use it on my chamois. Because Blackberry Bliss is quite a dark colour for. So that's using that block technique down the side. Oh well, right, I need to measure before I do anything else, because I need to place my, I thought so, an uncut bit of card. So that would have been a disaster. Oh, it wouldn't really, but a minor disaster. 10.5, 9.5. Because I would have positioned everything in the wrong place. So what I'm thinking is having my leaf, stalk, leaf. Oh, actually, what do I do with those? Kind of want to position the flower head so I can have the greeting at the top there. So I'm thinking it can come across from there. With that. And I think what do I think? I'm going to end up with a big space there, aren't I? Mind you, why not have space? But what I'm definitely thinking is that I want a different colour of thingy. So I have that on there. Sorry, I was having a very long think then. So essentially what I am thinking is that one has got too much pink in. So where was the other one that I cut? It's just gone a little bit too pink to go with the cherry cobbler. So I'm going to put those two together. Oh, pretty, those two together. Oh, that'll be another card with a little daisy on. So I'm thinking that as a base with a cherry cobbler and blackberry bliss. I might also water, no, not with that one, got no water in it, my watercolour thing. Oh, you forgot to do last week's. Yes, I drew last week's, well, this afternoon. It was supposed to be last night, but with all the excitement of Christmas catalogue, didn't get a chance. And yeah, and then today's been a whirlwind of blooming webinars. So yes, that was drawn this afternoon. Nicola won that one on my little random spin the wheel. And yes, I put the colours up for this week. So yeah, they're all very bright. So yeah, you interpret them as you see fit. Create a card using the colours. Submit it on the post, and then names go into my little random draw generator. Well, if you haven't done your kids challenge card yet, Kim, I haven't seen who's done that. You can, the colours that I've got will be perfect for a kids card, because essentially, I know I don't enter my own competition, but I like to post something. So yes, I'm going to use the colours from this week's challenge, from my challenge, to do a card for Jenny's challenge. But yeah, I just love the challenges because it just gives you a little bit of inspiration and just helps you create something. So I've just literally used my for the life of me, I don't know what these are called now, but yeah, paintbrush with water in. They used to be called aqua painters, but I don't think they are anymore. They come as a pack of 3. That's the really thin one, which is really useful when you're doing a bit of fine detail. So I just squished the ink pad together. You get a stronger colour if you use re-inkers, but you can use the ink from the pad if you don't mind having not quite such a strong colour. So this is going to be that by that, which then I'm going to stamp. If I can find my stamp, there it is. So I'm actually going to stamp onto that background because I'm hoping, not so much, but so I've lost my, oh, it's over there. one of these days you're all going to scream at me, it's behind you, it's to your left, it's to your right, it's a... Right, now this is virtually impossible to see to cut now. So I've self-coloured it onto that DSP because it just gives a little bit of detail. So what I'm thinking is have the glittery one at the bottom. I'm going to use some Wink of Stella again, I think, on it because I do rather like it. And so that's Cherry Cobbler. Then I think I'll do a Blackberry Bliss on white. Let's clean off the Cherry Cobbler. And use the right one of those. So yeah, I think this is a quite a versatile little set because you've got the 2 sizes of flowers, you've got the little fern, you've got the stalk. I feel like I need a better word for it than that, but I'm guessing that's what it is. So where's my Wink of Stella? So just popping a little bit of that over each of the petals. To add a little bit more bling on top of that rainbow glimmer paper. I'm quite liking the effect there. I've got it's causing the colour to run a little bit, but I rather like it. I think on the darker colours you can just, oh look at that, bit of bling on a daisy, can't beat it. So then glue dots. So my glimmer one is going to go at the bottom. Oh, yeah, everything's sticking to everything now. Oh God, it is as well. There we go. You can't craft and be ungluey and sticky, can you? It's all part of the process. Got to get gluey and sticky. Although I'm covered in glitter, not ink. So instead of being inky like I normally am, I'm all glittery. Oh, do you know what I might do? I'm going to curl those the other way. And then I'm going to stick it on. No, I'm going to use a glue dot because that I think will cause a nice... Just put my glue dot knot in the middle. Get off. Even the glue dots are hot, I think. They're like, it's too hot to stick. So then, because I curled them outwards, it just gives a kind of slightly raised effect. Rather like. So let's get sticking this together and putting a greeting on. Oh, why did I put those there then? Might add some little dimensionals and colour them in. Oh, I don't know what I've got in the way of blends. That's the only thing in these colourways. What? I don't think this Blackberry Bliss is a blend, is it? They're definitely not cherry cobbler. Oh, yes, I have got light cherry cobbler I've got my hands on, so there we go. I'm pretty sure Blackberry Bliss hasn't got a blend. Not 100% sure why I think that, but I don't think it has. Oh no! There you go. That is why you don't glue when you've got inky paper. I have managed to get ink everywhere, but somewhere, excuse me, we can rescue that partly by putting a dimensional in. Don't put things upside down when you've been inking like that. So a sand eraser will just take off the top surface of the card, but that one is definitely going to get an embellishment. Oh, well, not that messy, Babsy, don't worry. It's only the blocks, and then of course, because I uninked the blocks partly onto the paper, and use the bigger size, I've managed to, that was still wet. Just when I did it with the Blackberry Bliss, the whole lot of ink went onto my chamois, so my chamois is completely and utterly stained. So rather than I should have, but yeah, sand eraser sorts all those little inky messes out. Just very gently takes off the top layer. But that's always why we use embellishments as well, isn't it? It's just an excuse to embellish some more. Whoop. So look, one over there, over that bit. Who knew there was an inky splodge? Sticking to my fingers, not to me. And put one up there. And then my greeting's going to go up there. So this one, oh, has beautifully, I've just separated the glue from the, that was my fault. I find it easier to colour embellishments with the broader end rather than the fine tip end. That's my personal preference. And I'm going to do the greeting in cherry cobbler, and I think I'm just going to, at the top there, pop smile. So yeah, it probably looks worse than it actually is, Babsy, from creating it. But essentially I used the ink, the stamp block as an ink pad. Oh, I think the blends are causing these to separate. Oh, hello. Mr. Zone. Shh.
Sorry?
He's home. I'm live, darling.
Oh, okay. Oh.
He's like, I'm home. What's the time then, if you're home already?
Your husband has returned, 1950s housewife.
He's trying to turn me into a 1950s housewife. How do you reckon that's going? It's the only reason he was upset I was going back to work. Actually, I don't think he's upset. He wants me out of his way. Well, except technically, although I am going back to work, I'm not going back to work, so I'm not actually going out. Doing in-out. Shake it all about. Work. Working from home. So, there we go. Rambling again. Off I go. You kind of get used to it, don't you, when you come along. You never know what you're going to get. So, there we go. Glittery hands, but not too inky. So I've used, the first one I did was the block of Daffodil Delight and Melon Mambo. Then I've cut out of the rainbow glimmer paper a one of the daisies with the combination of the both, and just reversed where that colour is. Coloured my little embellishments in the Melon Mambo. Then I did Magenta Madness and Flirty Flamingo, and used the beautiful gold laser cut paper. Laid that fern piece across because there is a fern in the kit, and it kind of made me think of that. And then we've done Blackberry Bliss and Cherry Cobbler. That's an absolute pleasure, Jeanette. Thank you very much. Hang on a minute, Kim. Is that not a hope on the 1950s housewife? So yeah, so there's the 3 cards. Same set. 3 completely different colourways. So yeah, definitely play around with your colourways and try different things. Alright, I'll see you after the weekend. Have a fantastic weekend. Stay cool. Drink lots. Water, that is. Take care. See you soon. Bye.